you doing, all you beautiful sons of bitches? It's your boy Baxter here, and today, me and John, sadly Solar couldn't make it, he was busy with other shit, but either way, me and John are finally here, starting a new series for the channel, where we're basically going to be reviewing real Star Wars comics. We're actually talking about stuff that's good for a change, John. Are you hype?
Well, I don't know if it really lived up to Clone Wars Season 1, but
Uh, man, fuck Clone Wars, man.
even the even the
Anyway.
part that was just summarizing, the movie, it was interesting watching, like, before all the, canon stuff was defined, all the differences and just, like, the silly kinda artwork that they had, what they
Yeah.
deemed important and not.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, so part of the first episode of this series, it's gonna go on for a while. Basically, me and John and Solar, when he rejoins, we were going to be reviewing issues of the original Star Wars series by Marvel from the 70s and 80s. We just wrapped up reading the first 10 issues, and 6 of them is an adaptation of A New Hope, because the series started in 77. New Hope was hot shit. And then we also read the first 4 issues after that, which actually moved beyond A New Hope and actually start telling their own original stories. In other words, this is pretty much the genesis of the expanded universe. Like, these issues came out before Splinter of the Mind's Eye, which I already have a review of on my channel.
Mm.
But in any case, so we read the first 6. I'm not going to go over the first 6 because, it's basically A New Hope. And if we review them, we'll pretty much be reviewing A New Hope. But in other words, so I guess we'll just talk about, like, how it lives up as an adaptation of A New Hope, and, like, how the story was overall delivered. So, John, what did you think of this series issue coverage of A New Hope?
They're mostly pretty faithful. My main criticisms as far as a comic book goes is some of them were super text heavy, especially that one with the narration. It's like they couldn't just let illustrations and paneling speak for
Yeah,
itself.
it's in issue 5 when they're escaping the Death Star. Yeah, it's like there's always it's all there's like tons of, like, these were written by Roy Thomas, for those familiar in the comic book dumb. But basically it's like he wrote, like, all the narration, and the TIE fighters were swooping all around the Falcon in space, and they were, like, shooting, and Han and Luke were shooting them all. And it's like, Roy, you can take a back seat on this. It's like we like, you can just tell the story with the art. You know what I'm saying? Uh,
Every
yeah.
single time a ship explodes, he has to come up with new language. So he's like, it passed through a hellfire into the final
It's
particles of
splintered into a million metal pieces. Yeah. Uh,
and other than that, I mean, it was mostly done well. A few of the illustrations were off just because they
yeah.
didn't like subsequent material to realize like what was important. Like Chewie looks more like a monkey in a lot of
Yeah.
these things. I'm not saying that to be racist. Like he looks like they have him doing poses where he's like, ooh,
Yeah,
and
there's
he's
one.
got
Yeah,
like a weird face.
yeah, there's one issue. Yeah, it's when they're on their way to Alderaan, pretty much, and Chewie's playing, like, that digital game with 3PO. I always forget what it's called. He's playing it with him, and, like, Chewie's, like, squatting over, and he looks like a monkey taking a shit. Yeah,
And
yeah,
then they a lot of, like, the space battles, instead of, like, lasers, because it's Marvel Comics, they draw them as, like, the beams, like, that
like,
Vision
yeah,
or
straight
Thanos or somebody would
lines.
shoot,
Yeah,
yeah, and so, like, the TIE fighters are, like, blasting at the Falcon, they have these giant green energy beams shooting out of them.
yeah. It looks like fucking Broly is shooting them. Yeah.
But, it mostly it kind of fluctuates with Vader. I feel like after issue 1, they get Vader's face pretty good, as far
He's
as, like,
still
how
got
he
the red eyes, though.
Yeah, he gets a lot of that, but I remember the first, issue, it was kinda, like, tubular and stuff with his face, and then they kinda smooth that out and make it more like the actual triangles and all that stuff going on. And then most of the dialogue, they get, like, fairly close, like, sometimes a line's reversed or goes to a wrong character or something, but, as you brought up to me, they were going off memory, because they didn't
Yeah.
have home video at the time, so it was like, "Oh,
Mhm.
we had to go to the theater, take some notes probably on a like, a sketch on a notebook, and, the little spiral bound that they probably brought to the, theater, and they're probably scribbling away."
Yeah, like
as they're
could you
doing it.
imagine like being in the theater with them and it's like you're enjoying the movie, but there's like this asshole like next to you, like why the fuck is he taking notes during this?
Well,
What the
hey, it's
hell?
better than having a cell phone out. I mean,
Yeah,
writing on
true.
paper isn't super loud, especially during a Star Wars film. So eh,
Yeah.
they're probably better than a lot of modern audiences. They're not opening their fucking bag.
Yeah. And then
Just open
yeah.
the chips, damn it.
Yeah, and then he also and also the assholes were like, "Oh, he said the thing." Uh,
I'm gonna film my reaction while I'm in the theater. Ooh.
oh yeah.
But no,
Uh,
it's I feel like they got it fairly accurate. I'm trying to think, there was something else that was like fairly off. I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, the kiss between Leia and Luke
Oh
in the
yeah,
end.
they actually did have a fucking kiss between Luke and Leia. Like it's
They
like
have a
when
whole
Luke
like
is like,
color spread of it where it's like a
yeah,
big romantic looking panel.
yeah. It's when Luke is like getting ready in his X-wing to fly and like do the Death Star run. Yeah. Thankfully, this book is S canon, and we can just say that that kiss didn't really happen. So there
And
you
I
go.
and I actually brought up when we looked at the illustration of the Death Star exploding, I said that actually looks better than the movie. And they went into that was one of the
Yeah,
times where it was actually good to have an explanation where they were like, it burned for days and it was
yeah.
a
It's like a big full page
yeah,
spread.
like a blinding explosion that you can't even look at because like they really made it you feel the gravitas of the Death Star exploding like it felt like an event.
Yeah. But yeah. So otherwise, yeah, the first six
Oh,
issues, they're
and Chewie's medal, they explain that as
oh
well.
they say Chewie gets a medal
He's
anyway,
he's too
and
tall, so he can't
he's
bow
too
down
tall,
is
so
how
they
they
can't.
explained it.
Yeah. So there was really no need to give him a medal in Tross.
So you
Oh
can
fuck
tell, like, even back then, like, people watching the movie were like, "Hey, why didn't Chewie get like this is pre-internet and everything, so it had to be purely word of mouth and
yeah,
geeks talking to each other after the movie. They're like, "Oh, Chewie didn't get a medal though." It's like, and then probably these comic writers were like, we're gonna have to explain that somehow because people have been
yeah,
bitching about it."
yeah.
Mm.
Oh, anyway. Yeah, so that's all they wrote on the first six issues. So now on to issue number 7, which I don't think this is the first piece of like actual EU material. I think it's a daily strip story called The Keeper's World, but I could be wrong. This could have beaten it. But anyway, so we open issue 7. What's the name of the story? New Planets, New Perils, where after bidding farewell to their rebel friends, Han and Chewbacca set out to return to Tatooine to pay off their debts to Jabba the Hutt. Oh yeah, that's one thing we forgot to mention. So Jabba appears in I think the second issue. It's like, hey Han, give us your fucking money. You still owe me money. But obviously, anyone who's read this comic will tell you that it's not Jabba. It's some other guy. And I had to explain to John that no, this isn't Jabba. I know this isn't Jabba because obviously he's not a big slug man. It's instead like this walrus cat looking guy. So I'm like, it's actually all right. He's a Nimbinel named Mosep Benid, and they retconned him into being Jabba's accountant who would sometimes shake down people who owe Jabba money, pretending to be Jabba himself.
Well, the other thing was, that was they take a lot of dialogue from that deleted scene in A New Hope
Yeah.
where Han meets Jabba, and
Hmm.
so it's like they must have like gotten some of the script or something to like kind of work
Yeah.
with because I don't know
Probably.
how
Yeah.
they would have known all like the dialogue is too close to be a coincidence.
Hmm.
Because he's like Han, my boy, blah blah blah, like just like in that deleted scene with the guy in the vest and all that they have the
Yeah.
human.
Declan Mulholland. Yeah.
Yeah, and then eventually they CG it so he's stepping over Jabba's tail and stuff,
Hmm.
and then the special editions, but, yeah, so they have that oh, yeah, and then the other thing I was thinking of was, Han definitely shoots first in
Hmm.
this,
Yeah.
in the comic book,
Yeah, and
like
Greedo is speaking basic, which is not something Rhodians tend to do a lot. Like, I think it's like or whatever, but anyway.
yeah, he blows the shit out of him, though, I remember that was
Yeah.
kind of a
The
color
fucking
spread.
blast goes in like 5 different directions.
Mini Death Star explosion for poor Greedo. He's just turned into
Wow.
like I just picture like a Greedo shaped a singe mark on the wall afterwards after he's vaporized.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
they clearly side with the old editions on that. Sorry, George.
wah, wah. What else was? Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, yeah. Anyways, where was I? Okay, yeah. So after bidding farewell to their rebel friends, Han and Chewbacca set out to return to Tatooine to pay off their debts to Jabba the Hutt. En route, they're hijacked by the space pirate Crimson Jack, in his which skeleton crew totally fucking stole, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah, because Jude Law's character John or whatever the fuck, he uses the Crimson Jack alias, and I'm like, you stole that from the EU, you motherfuckers.
I usually embrace the cringe and I'll watch all the Disney shit via other means, but I couldn't even muster up the interest to even watch a review of Skeleton Crew. I was just so disinterested in it.
Yeah,
I just watched Sexplain freak out over Neil in the tub or whatever.
yeah, fucking Christ. Um, Anyways, the pirates take the reward money given to Han and Chewbacca by the Rebel Alliance for rescuing Princess Leia Organa, but spare their lives. Forced to lay low because they cannot pay Jabba, the two seek refuge on the planet Aduba 3. There they are hired by Para, a priest of the Sacred Way, to bury a recently deceased cyborg. Although they meet with some resistance from the locals who object to having a cyborg buried in their traditional mound, they do eventually find their way to the burial site. After completing the task, the two smugglers are relaxing in a cantina where they're presented with a much deadlier job. So, anyways, so John, what did you think of this issue here?
So they already had, first of all, I have to docket major points because in every one of these issues, starting with this one, there are highly sexualized male gaze women throwing themselves at Han Solo in these bikinis. You can tell it's made by the Red Sonja guy
Yeah,
because he basically
promise.
he really likes that metal bikini design. He throws
Mhm.
it on everybody. And it's
Yeah,
just like, back in the 70s, everybody just enjoyed this stuff. Threw it into their
before the
comic.
dark times.
Yeah. And this is like more of a standalone issue than the others. Like they tease a little bit at the end, but basically it's like this whole, uh, you know, the father isn't like a priest,
Mhm.
escorting this cyborg, and they get their little bit of pay, and they basically throw in one final panel as a tease at the end. But it's basically this Han Solo basically goes to the bar to celebrate a job well done afterwards.
Yeah, and Chewie gets like not one but two bitches. Yeah.
Like, "Mm."
uh,
And
so
Han's always calling him a furry. He's always calling him
uh,
a furry first mate. I'm always like, "Oh, Han, you don't know what that's gonna
oh
mean in the future."
oh jeez, yeah. But yeah, other than that, this issue was just kind of fine overall. Yeah. I will say, John, expect Crimson Jack later on in this series. I
Ooh.
can guarantee you that. Anyway, so then we begin issue 8 called 8 for Aduba 3. And so the plot is that Han and Chewbacca are hired by Ramiz, a moisture farmer on Aduba 3, to protect his village from a band of local thugs known as the Cloud Riders, led by Sergi X Aragantes. Han and Chewbacca hire 6 misfit spacers to help them with the task, including Don Juan Quixote, an old man who thinks he's a Jedi Knight, and Jackson, a rabbit-like lepi with a mean disposition. Sergi X tries to convince Han to forget about his mission to protect the peasants and even offers him compensation, but Han declines. Meanwhile, on Yavin 4, Luke Skywalker, C3PO, R2D2 leaving a scout ship to search for a location for the new Rebel Alliance base. So, John, what'd you think of issue number 8 here?
So it seemed like they were throwing in this whole like run. It was basically like Han's the focus, but I feel like they probably thought like, oh, people will be mad if we don't mention Luke and Leia at all. So and the
Yeah.
droids and everything. So let's throw in like a little tease. I feel like the next story arc is going to focus on them.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I can't
because
guarantee you, yeah.
Yeah, because it basically, like, shoves them in the background. They throw in, like, a couple panels each time, basically teasing, like, "Oh," and it always leads into it even with, like, Han going like, "I wonder where Luke is right now.
Yeah.
Hmm."
Yeah, he straight up wonders that while he's having a conversation with one of the guys he's gonna hire. Yeah.
And this is basically, Seven Samurai in space.
Yeah.
Like, they pretty clearly are just slash Magnificent Seven. I think that had come out by this time as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So they're kind of like, all right, we're gonna get 8 ragtag people together, including Han and Chewie, and we're gonna have to defend this like rural village from the evil bandits that are coming to raid it. Like it's a very one-to-one plot with Seven
Straight.
Samurai, but
Yeah,
with a
this is
sci-fi coat of paint.
Yeah, this is let me tell you, John. Like, get ready for Dave Filoni to rip off Seven Samurai in his shows, not once but twice. Because I guess this issue is what told him, like, hey, this story in the Marvel comics, it ripped off Seven Samurai, so I get to rip off Seven Samurai too, probably.
But
Yeah,
hey, at least they made unique characters in this. It
yeah,
wasn't just like girl boss, girl boss, girl boss.
yeah.
It was like, oh, we got the old guy who's like thinks he's a Jedi Knight, and
Mhm.
they never really like fully explain whether
Nah,
he was delusional or not. I'm guessing he was, but
I think he
um,
is. Yeah,
yeah, then they got like the robot who's always bitching about being with that kid from the village, and then
yeah,
you got the hot chick, the kind of femme fatale,
yeah,
who knew Solo from past missions. She's also got the Red Sonja armor on, um,
yeah.
and then who's the other ones? Oh, the
Um,
rabbit.
yeah.
You got Bugs Bunny and Green.
Yeah, fucking Bucky O'Hare. Yeah, apparently, yeah, like I said while we were reading this, apparently even George Lucas hates Jackson, so it's not just the fans.
Oh, does he
Uh,
come back, or is he just hated from these issues?
I think he does come back in like a few other things, but
Hmm.
but because everyone doesn't like him, they rarely do. And he also got the cat porcupine guy.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. They said like he's
Um,
one of the few of his species remaining at one point.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, he like flexes needles out of his muscles,
yeah.
basically. Which he only ever
Um,
does from like his arm, it seems like. It seems like at some point he should have just like taken off his fucking cloak and just spam that shit done an
Yeah, he's wearing
AoE attack.
he's wearing like a fucking cape like Doctor Strange and a speedo like he's Superman. Yeah.
We commented he
Um,
looks like a freaking wrestler whenever he first
yeah.
comes in because he's got like the speedo and cape on.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's all of them. I don't think we're forgetting any of them. But yeah, so but yeah, like John said, they're teasing like the next story to be all about Luke, the droids, and Leia. But anyway, so yeah, then we move on to issue 9, Showdown on a Wasteland World. So in this issue, Han Solo, Chewbacca, and the Starhoppers of Aduba 3 arrive at Rames's village, Onakra, only to find it under attack by flying high hounds. They repel the beasts, saving the life of a young girl named Mary, who is the daughter of Ancho, the village spokesman. Their relief is short-lived as Sergi X Aragontis and his Cloud Riders attack. The Starhoppers valiantly defend the village from the attack, but not without cost, as FE9Q, the tractor droid guy, is destroyed in the fray. However, Mary's grandfather, the Old One, a shaman, dismisses the hired spacer's help and summons a large mythical reptilian monster called the Behemoth from the world below to handle the invading Cloud Riders. Meanwhile, Luke informs Leia that he's found a new location for the Rebel Alliance base in the Drexel system. The transmission suddenly ends, and a worried Leia sets out to find Luke. So, John, thoughts on this issue?
Yeah, I liked they weren't totally predictable in that they threw in this little twist on the Seven Samurai where they were like, oh, we're gonna have like this unknown, like crazy element, and that's gonna end up, basically dealing with the main threat that they were preparing for. And
Yeah,
it
it's like, run, it's Godzilla! Yeah.
and do they end up facing those weird like vulture from Spider-Man looking dudes in this one where they like swooping in trying to take the
Yeah,
cops?
yeah, those beast dudes, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, so they're
and for once, the fucking generic ass monsters aren't fucking or blaster proof, and like in all the fucking Filoni shit. Well,
yeah, I commented on that immediately because Han even calls it out. He shoots one of them and he's like, hey, they're not immune to blasters. I'm like, oh, thank Christ, one creature in the galaxy isn't immune to blasters. We know this isn't Disney, I guess,
mm-hmm.
where the fucking Mandos get their asses kicked by every alligator and pterodactyl on their planet.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Uh,
but yeah, it was just like a massive number of them, and the Jedi Knight guy, he ends up fighting off a few of them. Um, and it establishes like that they can perform under pressure essentially. So it's a nice little kind of training mission before the main event for our ragtag crew.
yeah, then the fucking bandit shows up, and this guy, the Sergi X, he's John, you said it, he looks like a cross between Doctor Strange and Wario.
Yeah, he's got like the star on his chest. He's got like kind of the Doctor Strange outfit going on, a little bit of the hair, but then he's got like the Wario mustache.
Yeah. Uh
Mm.
yeah, and what is so yeah, that's that's all she wrote on this system. Yeah, there's also like one fucking part in this book where Don War where like they mentioned that FE9Q is like the only, spoiler alert, he's really the only casualty on the good guy's side in this story. And but Don Juan takes a shot in this, and it's like, oh, and he goes down. Like, I legit thought he died, but no, apparently his armor, which looks like normal ass knight armor in this, apparently he's completely fine. Like, I legit thought he was fucking dead. I was like, no. I was like, wait, he's alive? What the fuck?
He comes
Like,
back and they like basically treat him like he's dead for the remainder of the issue. And then the next one, he's
like,
like,
oh
"Oh,
no,
it's a good thing my armor was good,
I'm all good.
guys."
It's all good, bro. I had plot armor on.
It's like in the Disney Star Wars, whenever they're like, "Oh, it's a good thing that stab wound didn't kill the Grand
Yeah,
Inquisitor, even though it looked like
yeah,
it did."
or fucking One Piece.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, they're like, "That nuke went off on you, bro," and it's like a completely insignificant character, and they're just like, "Yeah, but I was fine."
Yeah. So we round out all this stuff we reviewed with issue number 10, Behemoth from the World Below. You know, when you have like old ass, like pulpy ass titles like that, I just can't help but read them out like that. But anyway, so the plot, the old one has summoned the Behemoth, a giant reptilian monster, to defend the village Onakra from the villainous Cloud Riders. Sergi X Aragantis, the leader of the Cloud Riders, realizes that he and his men have no chance against the beast, and he also realizes that the giant is being controlled by the old shaman. He attacks the old one, but the behemoth reacts in time to kill Sergi X. However, the shaman is killed as well, causing the monster to run amok. With the rest of the Starhoppers of Aduba 3 running for cover, would-be Jedi Knight Don Juan Quixote tries to stop the great beast on his own. Hedgie tries to help him, and he's the porcupine guy, but is easily killed. Wait, Hedgie died? I didn't know Hedgie died. What the fuck?
I must have crushed him.
I
Yeah, I
must
didn't
have
even
missed
notice that
that.
either.
Anyways, Han Solo rushes to help Quixote and uses the man's lightsaber to destroy the behemoth, saving the village. Meanwhile, Leia searches the Drexel system for Luke, who has not been heard from since his last transmission was intercepted. So
Yeah,
we end up.
basically like Leia and Luke's story is like Luke is scouting out a new planet for the rebellion, and then he's like, "Hey, I found a," and then it gets cut off, and
Ah!
then Leia's all like, "Oh, I shouldn't have listened to you generals in the first place. I wanted to go with Luke anyway," and she runs off on her own to go chase him,
Yeah.
because she's too horny after that kiss in the hangar.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So anyways, John. So final thoughts on this issue. Yeah, I straight up had no idea. I thought Hedgie fucking survived. Apparently, he fucking died. So back to back, we have an issue where I thought a character died, but he turned out alive, and now we have an issue where where I thought a character lived, but it turns out he died.
Well,
So
and then
that could have been done a little
we had
better.
all the narration boxes of some random TIE fighter dying, like every single move and every single buddy that died with no named characters.
Yeah.
But then an actual named character dies and they don't bother like have a little text box be like, Hedgie, one of the last of his species
Spiner.
was crushed and and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Um
Uh.
but yeah, I mean, at least it throws like an interesting twist on it, and like the controller gets killed at the same time as the last main bad guy. So it's kind of like, oh, that makes sense, like why our heroes are left to deal with this. And then they make everybody contribute kind of in meaningful ways, like
Yeah.
the
Yeah, although it wasn't really like that contributing where it's like, oh, I thought they were all gonna fight this giant monster like using like their own specialized skills and whatnot. But like
Mhm.
no, apparently like most of them like helping each other, just helping them like move from cover to cover behind the
Yeah.
rocks. and then Don Juan like rushes out there. Hedgie rushes out there, and apparently he dies. Then Han and Chewie rush out there. Han takes the lightsaber and he like rushes at the beast. Like I guess he shoves it like in its gut or whatever.
Mhm.
And apparently the saber just fucking disintegrates the damn thing. So I guess the final battle could have been handled better and it was a little anticlimactic, but yeah, overall I would say that like these 4 issues were a decently fun story, fun. I'd say it was a pretty all right story, John. Like you said, it's like a Seven Samurai knockoff. But overall,
Yeah.
I give these 4 issues a thumbs up. Yeah,
Yeah,
what
it's
do you
like a
about you?
side quest in an RPG. It's kind of like, hey Han, you got to go, handle this village thing for a little while. And then he's
Yeah,
just like, yep. And it actually does explain like a plot point from A New Hope to Empire where it's like, Han got given all this reward. He had it on the Falcon. Why doesn't he just pay off his debt? Oh, okay. He got robbed. All right.
yeah,
And so, obviously they don't know that he's going to be back at Hoth with the rebels at the beginning of the next movie. Because I assume there's going to be quite a few of these before Empire comes out.
yeah,
Um, so they kind of probably have to keep them separated, I'm guessing. But yeah, it definitely handles that, and it stays in character, with all the because definitely in the first movie there was more of like a love triangle kind of aspect. So I don't blame them for not knowing that like Leia was Luke's sister and stuff. I'm not even sure if
yeah,
George knew at this point. So I don't really get on them for that too much. It's just kind of a funny thing in retrospect.
yeah. Oh, well, yeah. So, yeah, it seems like the next fucking story we have coming up is all the shit going on in the Drexel system. So, John, are you hyped for that?
Yeah, I actually am pretty interested to fill in kind of the gaps and not have like 20 Disney filler books to try and stretch out a 3-year time period. I feel like shit's actually happening at least.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, anyways, guys, that's going to be it for us for this. So stay tuned for the next episode. So if you guys enjoyed this episode, please give a thumbs up, comment below, thought, subscribe for videos like this. We'll see you guys next time in the backseat. Take care.